Thank you. The House will come to order. The Pledge of Allegiance this morning will be led by Paul Felix, Chris Proke, Jackson Raugust, Jason Caddis from Scout Troop 127, Centennial, Colorado, and they are guests of Representative Janet Buckner.
Please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Randall, please read the roll. Here.
Representatives Arndt, Baisley, Beckman, Benavides, Byrd, Bockenfeld, Buck, Buckner, Puenteo, Caravale, Carver, Catlin, Coleman, Cutter, Duran, Escar, Exum, Representative Exum,
Excused.
Froelich, Galindo, Garnett, Geithner, Gonzalez Gutierrez, Gray, Hanson, Herod, Putin, Humphrey, Jackson, Marquez Lewis excused, Kennedy, Kip, Kraft-Tharp, Landgraf, Larson, Lewis, Liston, Lontine, McCluskey,
Excused. Here.
McKean, McLaughlin, Melton, Michelson Janae, Mullica, Neville, Pelton, Ransom, Rich, Roberts, Sane,
Sane, excused.
Sandridge,
Excused.
Singer, there he is, Sirota, Snyder, Soper, Sullivan, Tipper, Tatone, Valdez A, Valdez D, Van Winkle, Weissman, Will, Representative Will, Williams, Wilson, Madam Speaker Becker,
Excused. With 60 present, 5 excused, a quorum is present. Representative Geithner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I move that the reading of the Journal of Wednesday, March 6, 2019 be dispensed with and approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk.
You have heard the motion and that the journal be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk. All in favor say aye. All opposed say no. Motion passes. Are there any announcements or introductions? Representative Melton.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. Members, just a reminder that today is Thursday, which means tomorrow is Bow Tie Friday. So be sure to wear your bow ties, your bolos, your ascots, your scarves, or bring your baby. I guess we might extend that now to puppies since the Assistant Majority Leader brought his puppy yesterday. But members, let's show our bipartisanship and celebrate Bow Tie Friday.
Representative Harrod.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. It's an honor to serve with you.
And it's my honor to serve with you.
Members, can I get your attention real quick? Thank you, Representative Valdez. I wanted to let you all know that we have some amazing young people here today from East High School learning all about the process and what we are doing. East High School, please stand and be applauded. Good to see you this morning. This morning they asked some really interesting questions about whether or not we are as divided as what we see at the federal level. I told them no, so don't prove me wrong. And watch how people are working amongst the aisles to talk to members. Republicans sit over here, Democrats sit over there, but we all work together. So thanks for coming this morning. And since I'm up here, Finance Committee, we will be hearing one bill upon adjournment, House Bill 1217, Speaker Becker. We will be laying over House Bill 1179 for 1 week until next week. Thank you.
Representative Duran.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Temp. It is a pleasure to serve with you.
And it's a pleasure to serve with you as well.
I would like to welcome some very special guests here today on the House floor. If you could please stand. We have some of the young women from Florence Creighton High School in Denver visiting with us here today for their day at the Capitol. Woo, yes. Florence Creighton Services' mission is to educate, prepare, and empower these teen mothers and their children to break the cycle of poverty for 2 generations, teen mother and child, through education, health, and wellness, and economic and social asset. This 2-generation model more than doubles the national high school graduation rate of teen mothers and ensures that their children are kindergarten ready. Yes, we are fortunate to have these young women visiting the Capitol today. They are working to balance school with raising children, and they show us time and time again that their hard work and perseverance pays off. They are hosting a bag lunch reception today from 11 to noon in room 603 in the Sherman Building. So definitely stop by, meet with them. They're wonderful young women. Share your stories, and please welcome them here today. So thank you, and thanks for being here.
Welcome to the Capitol. Representative Michelson-Janae.
Hello, members. Today we have Cancer Caucus. And Cancer Caucus today will be at 12 to 1:15 in the First Baptist Church with lunch provided. We will be talking about colon cancer and screening methodologies as March is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. And we will have some updates on pending legislation of interest to the Cancer Caucus and Cancer Coalition. Please join us today.
Thank you. Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. I remembered your title.
Thank you so much, Representative Landgraf.
Bonus points.
Members.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. I'm not sure it did any good, but March 11th is the Veterans Caucus. We are going to be talking about veterans employment. That's very, very important. Former Representative Rice will be leading the charge on that, and the Colorado Beverage Association will also be there. Lunch will be served if you let Jerry know by March 7th that you will attend. So please, it's March 11th from 11:30 to 1300 hours. If the event will start at noon, and it's in the basement in 112.
Representative Hansen.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker Pro Tem.
Members, the next exciting installment of the House Appropriations Committee will be tomorrow morning. We will gavel in at 8 o'clock. We have 3 House bills and 3 Senate bills to consider. We've got House Bill 1026, House Bill 1095, House Bill 1128, and then the 3 Senate bills, number 6, 16, and 17. Can't wait to see you there.
Representative Catlin.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. It is truly an honor to serve with you.
And it's definitely an honor to serve with you, Representative Catlin.
Thank you. Members, if I could get your attention for 5 seconds, that's all I need. Please. It starts when you be quiet, so there you go. Thank you. Today's a special day in my life. Yep. There's a lady in the house with me today that 32 years ago today, I asked her to marry me.
Oh.
Stand up, stand up. She still hasn't said what she's going to do, but but anyway, I don't get enough opportunity sometimes to let her know how special she is. My life started getting a whole lot better the day that I found her and the day that I asked her. We've been together every minute. I don't think we've ever had a day that we haven't talked to one another. But anyway, I wanted to say that because my anniversary is after we're done here, and I wanted you to know she's the best thing in my world. Thank you.
Oh. That was beautiful. Representative McLaughlin.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. My announcement is not nearly as good as Representative Catlin's, so yeah, this is kind of that's a hard act to follow. Education Committee today, which is almost as exciting. We are listening to Senate Bill 95, House Bill 1161, and House Bill 1132. Thank you for not listening, I guess. Thank you.
Representative Javon Melton.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem, and it is the greatest honor to serve with you.
And it's my honor to serve with you.
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
Members,
Representative Melton, could you hold on, please? Could we please lower the level of talking in the chamber so we can hear the rest of the announcements? Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. Members, we have the Arapahoe County Commissioners coming down to the Capitol today, and we invite you to lunch. It'll be over across the street in the SSB building, room 603 at noon. We hope that you can make it.
Thank you and welcome Arapahoe County Commissioners. Representative Weissman.
Thank you and good morning, Madam Speaker Pro Tem, and thank you for not calling on me directly after Representative Catlin.
You're welcome.
This is just an announcement for judiciary members. We have 4 bills on our calendar today: 1092, which is for action only, Senate Bill 14, House Bill 1197, and Senate Bill 91, 130, room 112.
Representative McCluskey and Dillon. Roberts. Representative Roberts.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. We are here today because not only are we more than halfway through the legislative session, we are more than halfway through ski season. And everybody needs to know, Aspen Highlands, 22 inches of new snow last night, 19 inches of new snow at Ski Cooper, 10 inches of new snow in Vail. Yes, come ski.
Representative McLaughlin.
Go ahead. Go ahead. We had so much snow at Purgatory last weekend. They had to dig out the ski lifts to actually get people up the mountain. So we are not complaining. It's really great.
Representative Dillon Roberts.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. Speaking of digging out, we've had so much snow that there are avalanches going across I-70. But in all seriousness, thanks to our CDOT workers and our State Patrol for keeping our roads safe in scary situations like that. I have a few other announcements, but go skiing this weekend if you can. Rural Affairs and Agriculture Committee, we are meeting upon adjournment with a presentation from the Forest Service, and then after that, the entire body is welcome to the Ag Council lunch. We'll be talking water today with the River District and Northern Water. Lunch will be provided in Senate Room 357 at noon.
Thank you. Representative Garnett, Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. Members, I just wanted to let you know that you got this flyer on your desk. It's about the security training. The training will cover the most recent ways that criminals are using to attack you through the internet. It will teach you how to recognize and prevent attacks on your data and online presence. There are 5 different sessions available, and they start tomorrow and they go through March 20th. So if you want to go to the first session, it's tomorrow at 1 p.m. in room 107 in the basement.
Thank you. Representative Michelson Janae and Representative Singer, Representative Sirota, Representative Gonzalez Gutierrez, Representative Weissman, and Representative Hansen.
Hello, members. We're going to do a tribute, and if we could have your attention, please, for this tribute, which we will be having read at length. We have some very special guests in the House today. We are standing before you, the Jew-ish caucus, and those who represent the Jewish parts of town are standing in front of you, or highly densely Jewish. And we have a tribute to the amazing National Council of Jewish Women Representatives who are standing in the back, and I would ask for the tribute to be read at length.
The House of Representatives convened in the 72nd General Assembly hereby extends sincere commendations to the National Council of Jewish Women. The National Council of Jewish Women is one of the oldest women's advocacy organizations in the country and is comprised of volunteers and advocates who turn progressive ideals into action inspired by Jewish values. NCJW strives to improve the quality of life for women, children, and families and safeguard individual rights and freedoms. The NCJW's Colorado section was established 125 years ago and has always had a special place at the forefront of legislation, social action, advocacy, and community service on the Front Range. The Colorado section is comprised of more than 400 members and is entirely grassroots and volunteer-based. Recent programs by NCJW's Colorado section include the Jewish Communities Candidates Forum with over 500 attendees in November, knitting over 50 scarves for women veterans, sponsoring holiday celebrations at the Gathering Place, and providing lunch and learns, educational programs for the community on immigration, women's health, new authors, human trafficking, and resilience after loss. The Colorado section of NCJW also has a traveling theater troupe that values arts education in early childhood and a long-standing scholarship program that provides thousands of dollars in essential assistance for young women seeking higher education. The Colorado House of Representatives appreciates the committed dedication of the National Council of Jewish Women and wishes the Colorado section continued success. On request of Representative Daphne Michelson Janae, given the 6th day of March 2019, State Capitol in Denver.
Representative Michelson Janae.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. I would just like to announce that in the back we have Jennifer Dechtman, who is the Colorado Section National Council of Jewish Women President. We have Joy Hoffman, who's the Vice President of Public Affairs. We have Lisa Klein, Glenda Kaufman, Linda Fogel, Jackie Beckett, Lucille Siegel-Manis, and Cindy Coleman, who, like myself, are members of this wonderful organization. I have been moved by NCJW my entire life, and it is just so exciting to see them here in the Capitol. If you check out their archives, you will be amazed at the work that NCJW has done here in Colorado. So please, let's give them a warm welcome. Thank you, guys.
Welcome to the Capitol. Are there any other announcements or introductions? Yes. Representative Soper.
Thank you, Madam Speaker Pro Tem. I just wanted to say I'm one of the members that goes back and forth every weekend, and I I just wanted to say publicly how much I've appreciated CDOT, because I don't know if you followed the news, but we've had 3 avalanches that have closed I-70, and we've had epic snowstorms, which is definitely a godsend because we went through one of the worst droughts last year, so it's really a relief to have snow this year. But as I've observed, Red Mountain Pass has been closed due to avalanches and snow, and now I-70, and having gone over a McClure Pass multiple times and seen the piles of snow along the side of the road. I'm just very thankful for our CDOT workers, and just want to encourage everyone to be careful when passing snow plows and driving in the winter. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other introductions or announcements? If not, Representative Snyder. Thank you. Oh, I'm sorry. Seeing no objections, Representative Snyder will now take the chair.
The committee will come to order. With your unanimous consent, the bill will be read by title unless there is a request for reading the bill at length. Committee amendments will not be read unless requested, as they are printed in your bill folders. Floor amendments will be shown on the screen and on your iPads and not read unless requested. Bills will be laid over upon motion of the majority leader, and the coat rule is relaxed. Mr. Connor, please read the title. Oh, sorry. Mr. Randall, please read the title to SB 19-032.
Senate Bill 32 by Senator Scott, also Representative McCluskey, concerning the routing of hazardous materials being transported on the roadways of the state.
Representative McCluskey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's an honor to serve with you.
It's an honor to serve with you also.
I move Senate Bill 32 and the Transportation and Local Government Committee report.
To the committee report? Thank you. To the committee report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Transportation and Local Government, we did make one amendment to be sure we were focusing in on environmental impacts of our study and also identifying the communities that would be most impacted if there was a hazardous materials spill on I-70. With that, I ask for a favorable vote on the committee report.
Is there any objection? Any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the committee report. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The committee report passes. To the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move L009 to Senate Bill 32 and ask that it be properly displayed.
Yep. The amendment's been properly moved and properly displayed. Please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Inadvertently, as this bill was moving through the Senate, we cut out one of our key partners in the ski industry, and we are adding language to make sure that they have a seat at the table for our study. Having said that, I ask for an aye vote on Amendment L009.
Is there any further discussion? The question before us is Amendment L009. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it, and the amendment passes. To the bill. To the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Senate Bill 32 is a very important public safety effort. We are focused on improving the safety of Loveland Pass and the I-70 corridor, particularly at the Eisenhower Johnson Memorial Tunnel, for those truckers who currently are hauling more than 1 million gallons of hazardous materials, fuel, to the western slope every single day. This study will help us better understand how we can improve those two passageways and if we can consider moving hazardous materials through the Eisenhower Johnson Memorial Tunnel. We have included a wide variety of stakeholders, key members of our local communities, those on the western slope, and also our industry partners, to be sure that we are taking into account multiple perspectives on what's best for not only the transportation of hazardous materials, but the communities in which they're passing through. I ask for an aye vote on Senate Bill 32. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 032. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the bill passes. Thank you. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1023.
House Bill 1023, Representatives Sane and Jackson, House Senators Marble and Todd, concerning issuance of driving authorization documents to foster children who are under 18 years of age.
Representative Sane.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1023 and the Transportation Local Government Committee report.
To the report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. The amendment that was adopted in committee is mostly technical. One of the things that the amendment did, since this bill is a step towards obtaining driver's licenses and insurance, we made sure the interim committee between this session and the next shall examine further barriers to foster children meeting the 50-hour driving requirement while holding an instruction permit and to foster children obtaining automobile liability insurance. I ask for a yes vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the committee report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The committee report passes. To the bill. Oh, Representative Jackson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, guys, I want to tell you about this bill. It is a really important piece of legislation. There are lots of great kids out there with incredibly wonderful, beautiful, outstanding foster parents who are living in those parents' homes, and there are lots of awesome kids who have wonderful caregivers who are living in a different setting, a foster care setting. I think that one thing that we can all agree that all of these kids need are opportunities in life, and being able to get a driver's license is one of those opportunities. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about what the bill does. It makes sure that a minor who is 16 years of age can buy auto insurance, and that an insurer cannot decide to drop that minor's coverage just because of their age. It makes it unnecessary for a minor to have what's called an affidavit of liability signed if the minor has evidence of financial responsibility or if they can get some insurance on their own. It allows any adult over the age of 21 to instruct and sign the driving permit logs of a foster child. And finally, this bill does ask the Transportation Legislative Review Committee to look into further lowering those barriers that these children face in getting their driver's licenses. I would ask for an aye vote.
Representative Sane.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And members, this bill has been over a year in the making. This bill is supported by Colorado Motor Carriers Association, the Colorado-Wyoming Petroleum Marketers, Adoption Search Resource Connection, Office of the Child's Representative, and Tennyson Center for Children. The bill was requested by our foster youth to normalize and give parity to their childhood experience. A driver's license is seen as a rite of passage enjoyed by other Colorado teens, but is more for that for many in the foster child system. A driver's license holds the potential for freedom and self-sufficiency because a driver's license is often the on-ramp and acceleration lane on the road of employment. A driver's license or the ability to drive is often a prerequisite for many entry-level jobs. Many of us have taken this rite of passage for granted, that has been denied to those whose lives have been turned upside down by many factors, including death of parents. Aging out of the foster system often means that these Colorado youths also lose their support system, and if a driver's license hasn't been part of that experience, it can lead to hardship in attaining employment. This can be a game changer, even though it's a modest step for our foster kids who dream, as we all did, of daring the world and contributing to the American dream. We ask for your yes vote on this pivotal piece of legislation.
Is there any further discussion on the bill? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the bill. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no.
Okay.
The ayes have it. The bill passes. Thank you. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You're doing a great job. It's an honor to serve with you.
It's an honor to serve with you also.
Thank you. I move to labor House Bill 1186 till Friday, March 8th.
Any discussion? The bill is laid over till Friday, March 8th. Mr. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move to labor House Bill 1118 until Friday, March 8th.
Any discussion? The bill is laid over until Friday, March 18th. 8th. Thank you. Mr. Randall, please read the title to House Bill. Oh, wrong page. Senate Bill 105.
Senate Bill 105 by Senator Rodriguez, House Representative Tipper, concerning the Colorado Uniform Director Trust Act.
Representative Tipper.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It's an honor to serve with you.
An honor to serve with you also.
Mr. Chair, I move Senate Bill 19105, and there is no committee report.
To the bill.
Members, this is a Uniform Law Commission bill. It is a Uniform Directed Trust Act. It passed unanimously out of the Senate and passed out of committee here. Essentially, this deals with directed trusts, which are when you have assets in a trust that are specialized or require specialized instructions. So, for example, for rural members here, the trustee might not know anything about a farm or how to dispose of a farm or how to deal with the assets in a farm. So a director of a trust is appointed that provides specialized information on the farm. So essentially, under current law, the administration of trusts, including directed trusts, is generally governed by certain provisions in the probate code. This uniform law repeals those provisions and creates the Uniform Direct Trusted Act. So what we heard in committee was unanimous support from the Bar Association, Colorado Bar Association. We heard that this would actually fix some technical issues in the current statute. It's broader and answers questions that the current law does not address. It's a good bill, like I said, passed unanimously out of the Senate with bipartisan support, obviously, and I ask for your support on this. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 105. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. No. The ayes have it, and the bill passes. Mr. Randall, would you please read the title for House Bill 1178?
House Bill 1178, Representative McLaughlin, now Senator Donovan, concerning the name simplification of Western State Colorado University to Western Colorado University.
Representative McLaughlin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just have that in there. So, yes, I'd like to move House Bill 1178, please, on second reading. This bill is about Western State Colorado University. They want a simple name change. Western was the first college on Colorado's western slope in the most beautiful district in Colorado and the fourth oldest public college in the state. Western has been Western since 1923. For almost a century, the name of the institution has included the words Western Colorado University or College. This bill merely simplifies the name by striking the word state. Western is how the institution is most commonly referred to by students and the public. The institution has been doing business as Western Colorado University since the fall of 2018, and this bill merely reflects the name simplification.
Is there any further discussion? Representative Soper.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and it's an honor to serve with you.
An honor to serve with you, Representative.
So I rise to speak in opposition of the name change, mainly from the ethical high ground. You know, I just want to speak more towards the record that there was an agreement as late as 2016 that Western State Colorado University would not engage in this name change. And while I respect the fact that Western has had the name Western since 1923, I do believe that agreements should be honored, and that when boards make resolutions to honor certain agreements, that those should be upheld. I just want to remind the Assembly here that when Western changed its name in a bill in 2012, everyone was under the belief that the institution embraced its new name. However, in 2016, Western State Colorado University filed for a federal trademark on the name Western Colorado University. In effect, they used federal law to gain the naming rights before this body, the Colorado General Assembly, had authorized the name change. Between acting in bad faith to circumvent the agreement that they had with Colorado Mesa University, and then going around Colorado law and seeking a federal trademark to the name, is definitely acting in bad faith and is unethical. I do not believe that this unethical activity should be rewarded here. I ask for a no vote. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion? Representative McLaughlin.
I want to thank Representative Soper so much for speaking for Mesa, but they've already called me and said they have no complaints about this bill, so thank you very much.
Representative McCluskey.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to stand in support of this bill. There is nothing more important than allowing our institutions of higher education expand and identify who they are in the great state of Colorado and across the nation. Western, it's what we've all called it, it's what we know it is a terrific Western Slope partner in helping more students across this state earn their bachelor's degree and pursue a thriving career here in the state. I stand in support of this bill and hope that you'll join us in helping Western become Western.
Representative Soper.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I just wanted to respond to Representative McLaughlin. Yes, I do know where Colorado Mesa University stands on this. I just wanted to build for the record and remind the Assembly of the history of this process, because I do think it's worth being reminded of how we got here. So thank you very much.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1178. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. No. The ayes have it. Bill passes. Mr. Randall, please read the title for Senate Bill 19-068.
Senate Bill 68 by Senators Zenzinger and Tatos, Representatives Weissman and Cutter, concerning expanding disclosure about electioneering communications.
Representative Cutter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It is a pleasure to serve with you.
And you also.
I move SB 19-068 with no committee report.
Great.
Okay.
Bill's been moved.
Okay.
Please, Representative Cutter.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. A high-functioning democracy depends on transparency, and this bill ensures transparency in electioneering communications, which will help and ensure an informed electorate. This is a good bill, and I ask for your aye vote.
Any further discussion? Please, Representative.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And we are to the bill, correct? So I was a no vote in committee on this bill. I don't think this is necessary. I think that we're in search of a problem here. This is telling a person, just a regular old person who wants to put out some mail and say what they have to say to their neighbors, and they don't get discounts on mail the way big organizations do and that sort of thing. So I think this is just something we need to leave alone and encourage participation in the process. Thank you.
Representative Weissman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And members, the problem is that our current definition of electioneering communications is about 17 years old, and campaigns have changed a fair bit in that time. A great deal more money is spent earlier in the electoral process than was the case when this type of reporting began to be required in 2002. So that is why we are trying to bring more information before the electorate, who is increasingly bombarded all summer long, so that people can evaluate for themselves who is spending money to try to win their vote on this or that issue. There was no opposition testimony in committee that I can recollect. We're doing two very simple things here. We're putting a little bit more information into the state campaign finance reporting system, and we're putting a little bit more information on certain broadcast communications that arrive before the electorate directly, pieces of mail, things like that. By way of example, disclosure and disclaimer have been very strongly upheld by the United States Supreme Court, including and not limited to the Citizens United decision itself. So I think it's fair to say that regardless of party, all voters are getting tired of the volume of negative political communication out there, and changing that is a bigger conversation for another time. At the very least, we can get a little bit more information before the electorate. That is all this bill does. Again, there was no opposition testimony in committee. I ask for your support.
Representative Rich.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I rise in opposition to this bill. We did hear this in committee, and I did oppose this bill at that time. The increase in disclosure requirements is a direct and unwarranted check or attack on a political speech, which is an attack on free speech. And the bill is contrary to the principles of limited government because it imposes new government regulations to resolve a problem that does not exist. I ask for a no vote.
Representative Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, we heard this bill in State Veterans Military Affairs, and it did come down party line 6-3. And part of the reason that I voted no on this particular bill was the concept. I don't think was necessarily off, but I think in practice what you're going to see is there's going to be a chilling effect on free speech. There's going to be a chilling effect on people willing to actually talk, especially when it comes to elections and campaigns. And it would also have, I believe, a chilling effect on potential donations and the ability for people to actually organize and exercise their right to effectively address the concerns with their government and their officials during the election process. And so while I can appreciate the desire to help put more information out there, I feel that the reasons behind putting more information out there, while they may be good intended to be for good, will unfortunately have the negative effect of driving people away from our election processes and their ability to actually have speech and communication. So for that reason, I would urge the committee to vote no.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 068. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no? No. The ayes have it, and the bill passes. Mr. Randall, please read the title of House Bill 1191, excuse me.
House Bill 1191, Representative Arnn, concerning the ability of farm stand to be operated on principles use site of any size land area, regardless of whether the site has been zoned by the local government for agricultural operations.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I move House Bill 1191 and the committee report.
To the committee report.
Thank you. There was an amendment L001 in committee that added the specification the farm stand could also sell products that are not conducted on the principal site of the farm stand. So that means if you have a farm stand, you can also sell local honey to go along with some of your stuff, or you could sell some artisanal bread, that sort of thing. So that's the amendment. And I urge a yes vote.
Is there any further discussion?
On the committee report. Sorry.
Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of the committee report. All those in favor, please say aye. All opposed, no. To the bill. It passes.
Guys have it. Okay, to the bill. So this bill comes from my local farmers, and what it says, it came out of the committee unanimously, and what it says is with all health and safety protected, you have to still apply through your city or your county to have a farm stand. They have complete control of that. You just can't be denied a farm stand based on the fact that your farm is less than 3 acres, and this is good for urban agriculture and healthy food, and I urge a yes vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1191. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Bill passes. Mr. Randall, please read the title for House Bill 1198.
House Bill 1198 by Representatives Valdez A and Valdez D, also Senators Bridges and Priola, concerning the powers and duties of the Electric Vehicle Grant Fund.
Thank you. This is an easy one. Representative Valdez.
Thank you. I move House Bill 1198.
Thank you. It's been properly moved.
The Valdez bill. We are here today, members. We rank 8th in EV adoption. Most Coloradans admit the reason that they're not adopting an electric vehicle is because of a lack of rural charging infrastructure. We all have constituents who drive electric vehicles, and what this bill will do is simply update a statute that was written in 2009 before EVs were really out and about. This will allow them to easier deploy the funds that are in the EV grant fund, which are paid by EV drivers, and will allow us to develop that rural infrastructure so all Coloradans can enjoy beating people off the line in their speedy electric vehicles.
Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and it's an honor to serve with you, and I just want to give a shout out to East High School, who's in the gallery, also for the utility companies for keeping the lights on. And with that, I ask for your aye votes. Good bill, vote yes.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us. Oh, I'm sorry, Representative Sane.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm still not sure what the plural of Valdez is. Is it Valdez's? Valdi. Now you all know. It's Valdi. I love the fact that there's 2 Valdi on this bill, or there's Valdi on this bill. Or 2 Valdezes. But I have to speak against the bill anyway. For many reasons, but members, we all know that folks who have electric cars, by and large, make much more higher income than we do even in this chamber. Tends to be their second or third car. The highest vehicle registrations are in Boulder and Denver. And so I don't think we need a grant program to subsidize those folks who can already afford it. Over 500,000 households in our state are experiencing unaffordable home energy burdens. And this will further distort a market by crowding out private investment. I think private investment can take care of this. I do not think this is the role of government, and therefore I will urge a no vote.
Representative Valdez.
Thank you. Valdi. I just want to let all the members know that this bill is, this grant fund is paid into only by drivers of electric vehicles. It is not taxpayer funds. It is not any other funds. It is all paid by electric vehicle drivers for the development of their infrastructure. I urge an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, if you have not been to Valdez, Colorado, I highly recommend that you take a drive down to Valdez in Los Animas County because it is a great little place in Colorado. And I ask for your aye vote.
Representative Landgraf.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, I did vote against this, and what I was struck with, which really doesn't have anything to do with this bill, but every year I have to renew my license plate, and it costs a lot of money. Every year for the last 9 years, they have had to pay a $50 annual EV registration. $50. And out of that $50, they want more and more benefits. And I don't understand that discrepancy between what I have to pay to drive on the road and what they have to pay to drive on the road. And I understand that there's this thing about the carbon footprint, but I know that the batteries that go in these cars have particles in them that are very bad for our landfills and for disposing, and they're often mined from, shoot, what's the country?
You don't take
Anyway, no, it starts with an A. Anyway, they're mined in countries by children, and they're very dangerous. So it's fine to talk about electric vehicles and how great they are for our carbon footprint, but I think they should start paying some of their freight. Thank you.
Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And in the bill, referring back to House Bill 13-1110, which created a $50 annual EV registration fee, $30 goes to the Highway Tax User Fund and $20 goes to the grant. Thank you.
Representative Sane.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And just to Representative Landgraf's point, the $50 is not enough to defray costs, especially because these vehicles are heavier on average than other vehicles of the same type. But also, unless there has been an amendment to this bill that I'm not aware of, and it's possible, but page 3 makes me very suspicious because it says the Colorado Energy Office may grant the full cost of installation or help offset station operating costs in a location that is especially advantageous for the support of electric vehicles, but where other revenues are not and will foreseeably not be available to defray costs. The next paragraph says, the Colorado Energy Office is authorized to seek, accept, and expand gifts, grants, donations for public or private or public sources. And again, back to the point of distorting the market. I understand the intent of the sponsors is good. We want to help reduce range anxiety, things like that. But I think there was a better way to do this, and that was to make sure that the rebate, the state rebate for electric vehicles, should have been repealed. We tried that last year. We had that discussion, passed through the Senate. Those funds could have been used to go directly into roads and bridges and maybe to offset those costs. So I don't agree with the way that this bill is doing this. Since the Colorado Energy Office has expanded its mission before to the point of you can't even recognize what it is, I can't say I trust that particular office, and I would urge a no vote.
Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this grant fund really, it's been in existence since 2009. This is just a revision. There's really no new law and there's no new spending here. This is for infrastructure that will primarily benefit rural Colorado and the people who choose on their own accord to have an electric vehicle. So I again urge an aye vote.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This bill is for Colorado, whether you live in the northeast corner, the northwest corner, southwest corner, or southwest corner of Colorado. This is a good bill, good Valdez bill. Vote yes.
Representative Beckman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to make sure on the record that, because I didn't hear in this in committee, that this doesn't take away from the Highway User Tax Fund, because this is money that people take. It's a registration fee, and the good people of Colorado really expect this money to be put into roads and bridges, and I just hear so often from people in my community that they're really tired of potholes and chipped windshields and the dangerous roads and congestion. So I want to make sure that this money is not being taken away from highway user tax fund to subsidize just a small sector of the people on the roads.
Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Representative Beckman, for bringing that question forward. No, this does not take away from the highway user tax fund, but be more than happy to work with you on another bill to provide transportation funding for Colorado to fix our roads and potholes and the depreciation throughout Colorado.
Minority Leader Neville.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Members, I urge a no vote on this. I think this is really putting the cart before the horse. Quite frankly, if there was demand for these stations, the private market would be taking care of that. We already see that happening. I know in my own district, it actually drives me nuts because it took away one of the parking spaces that I love to use right in front of my Walmart. But again, that was a privately funded thing that was done. The market's already doing this in areas where there is demand. The problem we have with these vehicles in this industry in general is it's already so heavily subsidized through other tax credits and other means that take away from our citizens. And like was pointed out earlier, these vehicles really we got a free rider problem with a lot of these different vehicles because they're not paying their fair share for the cost on the roads. They're already getting tax credits on the purchase of these vehicles in the first hand, and they're not paying their actual costs for using the roads that they use. And these vehicles are heavier and actually cause more damage to the roads. And quite frankly, I don't think the free market can solve this without any more government intervention. So I urge a no vote.
Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So again, this is money paid by electrical vehicle drivers who make the choice on their own accord to own an electric vehicle. I urge an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1198. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Bill passes. Mr. Randall, please read the title to House Bill 1200.
House Bill 1200, President Warren Centers Bridges and Quorum concerning the point of compliance with the treatment process involved in treating reclaimed aggressive wastewater for indoor potable uses within a building where the general public can access plumbing fixtures that are delivered to the reclaimed domestic wastewater.
Thank you. Representative Arndt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move House Bill 1200 and the committee report.
To the committee report.
Members, look carefully about this amendment. It adds the word between. Just to clarify that when we're checking for a disinfectant residual at a single location, it has to be between where reclaimed domestic wastewater is delivered. And I urge an aye vote on the committee report.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, the question before us is a committee report. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Passes. To the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So this bill is a follow-on three bills we did last year that allowed domestic wastewater to be used for irrigation of crops, industrial hemp, and toilet flushing. And it stipulated that the point of compliance to make sure that water was safe was at during the water treatment process. This bill is a follow-on, only applies to domestic indoor use, i.e. toilet flushing for wastewater. We're adding an additional point of compliance possible right before the water enters the home. And I urge an aye vote.
Representative Todd. Lewis, excuse me.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to get up here and talk a little bit about why I was the no vote, the only no vote in committee. Last year we had a lot of these bills come forward with the domestic wastewater, and as Representative Arndt had said, they were for other uses. This one is for flushing the toilet. But still, it's going down. It's still going down the drain. There have not been enough tests done. There's too much salt, dissolvable solids going down that drain. So therefore, I was a no vote. I urge a no vote on the bill. Thank you.
Representative Liston.
Members, all I can say is I think this is a crappy bill.
Representative Arndt.
Thank you, and I urge a yes vote.
Is there any further discussion? question before us is the adoption of House Bill 1200. All those in favor, please say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Bill passes. Okay. Mr. Majority Leader.
Good job, Mr. Chair. I move the committee rise and report.
You heard the motion. Seeing no objection to the committee will rise and report.
Am I done?
The House will come back to order. Mr. Randall, please read the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Madam Speaker, your committee of the whole Beach Leave report is in search for such bills being segmented there with recommendations on House Bill 1023 is amended House Bill 1178, House Bill 1191 is amended House Bill 1198, House Bill 1200 is amended passed third place counter third and final passage. Senate Bill 32 is amended Senate Bill 68, Senate Bill 105 passed revised place counter third and final passage. House Bill 1118 and House Bill 1186 are laid over until March 8th, 2019, retaining the place on the calendar.
Representative Snyder. Thank you, Representative Snyder. The motion before us is the adoption of the Committee of the Whole report. Mr. Randall, please open the machine, and members, please vote. Buck, Catlin, Beckman, Harrod, Hooten, Humphrey, Landgraf, Gonzalez, Gutierrez, McKean, Sane, Soper. Representatives Landgraf and McKean. Please close the machine. With 45 aye votes, 18 no votes, and 2 excused, the report of the Committee of the Whole is passed. Announcements and introductions. Representative Lentine.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, tonight is the Colorado Optometric Association's reception, 5:30 to 7 at the Warwick Hotel. Be there, be square. Thanks.
And thank you to Madam Speaker Pro Tem for covering me this morning while I was at the doctor's office. Assistant Majority Leader Kennedy.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, if you don't have lunch plans today, we are having a meeting of the Public Investment Caucus to take a deep dive into the Gallagher Amendment and its impact on special districts. Let me know if you're going to be there.
Representative Jackson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Energy and Environment, we have one bill upon adjournment, Senate Bill 92. Be there.
Representative Roberts.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Rural Affairs and Agriculture, just a reminder, since we got done a little early, we'll start at 10:30 in 15 minutes in room 107.
Representative Arndt.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and members. In LSBB today is the Western Legislative Academy lunch. If you are an alumni, of course, you're welcome. And if you are interested in participating in that leadership program, please come and find out more about it. Thank you.
Are there any other announcements or introductions? Representative Buck is on her way down.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. And I'm not sure if anybody mentioned it, but there's Ag Council today at 12 o'clock, I think in the basement. So you're welcome to join us there. Thank you.
Representative Byrd.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, I would like to let you know that we have some very talented, wonderful children visiting us today from Arapahoe Ridge Elementary. Stand up, kids. And I hope members will look and give them a nice warm greeting from the State House of Representatives.
Ask for that.
Members, please take time and say hello and talk to these young leaders for tomorrow, and let's let them know how appreciative we are of them being here and how well our state government works.
Representative Buck.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I apologize. It's Ag Council lunch will be in room 352, upstairs.
Upstairs in the Senate. Thank you, Representative Buck. Representative Harrod.
Members of Finance Committee, we got off the floor a little bit early, so we will not be convening Finance until 11:15. We will be convening, though, at 11:15 sharp. We have one bill up, Speaker Becker, so be on time. 11:15, Finance, LSBA.
Thank you, Representative Harrod. Any other announcements? Majority Leader Garnett.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to lay over the balance of the calendar till Friday, March 8th.
Seeing no objection, the balance of the calendar will be laid over till Friday, March 8th. Reports of committees of reference. Printing report. Or which one first? Reports of committees of reference.
Committee on Business, Affairs, and Labor. After shares the merits of the following, House Bill 1086 be amended as follows, and asked to amend to refer to the Committee of the Whole favorable recommendation. Senate Bill 103 be referred to the Committee of the Whole favorable recommendation. Committee on Health and Insurance. After shares the merits of the following, House Bill 1183 be amended as follows, and asked to amend to be referred to the Committee on Appropriations favorable recommendation. Committee on Public Health Care and Human Services. After shares the merits of the following, House Bill 1009 be amended as follows, and asked to amend to be referred to the Committee on Appropriations favorable recommendation. Senate Bill 79 be amended as follows, and asked to amend to be referred to the Committee on the Whole favorable recommendation. Committee on Transportation and Local Government. After shares the merits of the following, House Bill 1210 be amended as follows, and asked to amend to be referred to the Committee on the Whole favorable recommendation.
Majority Leader
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to calendar the following bills for the general order second reading calendar for Friday, March 8th. House Bill 1086, House Bill 1210, Senate Bill 79, and Senate Bill 103.
Seeing no objection, the bills will be calendared as requested by the Majority Leader. Majority Leader Garnett, there's just a couple more things, Mr. Randall, that you need to do, right? Message from the Senate.
Madam Speaker, the Senate has postponed indefinitely House Bill 1108. The Senate has passed on third reading and transmitted the reviser of statutes. House Bill 1105 amended general orders printed in the Senate Journal March 6th of 2019.
Message from the reviser.
We herewith transmit.
Message from the reviser will be printed in the journal. Okay, Majority Leader Garnett, now we're ready.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move that the House stand in recess until later today.
Seeing no objection, the House will be in recess till later today.